Hi everybody, I'm Monica Morales and you're watching the Monica Makes It Happen social media show. We have a weekly podcast too and it drops Fridays on YouTube. You have to watch it. We have some really exciting guests in our studio. Of course, Joy is here. She's an award-winning host and is now creating a new exciting chapter. Journalist, political analyst, and author Joy Reid is here. And there's a nonprofit helping thousands of unaccompanied children get free lawyers to help them through the process of coming to America. Organizers of Safe Passage are here. But first, this.
Monica Makes It Happen is proudly supported by Goya. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
All right, I had this fancy introduction for Joy Reid, but I think, you know, everybody knows who you are. You've covered world events. You are a journalist extraordinaire. And for some reason, all your videos always go viral. And that's how I catch you on my Instagram, on my social media pages. Joy, thank you for joining us.
Monica, I feel like it's a reunion. Like the Florida girls are back together, MIA for life.
The more I talk to you, the more I see that we have so much in common. Yeah. But I'm so excited about your next chapter. You have a show that you launched, a new show. It's called the Joy Reid Show.
Yeah.
And it's really you unleashed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of unexpurgated joy, right? And so, the thing that's so great is, and you and I both know that, I've done local news, I've done talk radio, I've done sort of all aspects of media.
You've done everything.
I've kind of done all the aspects of, I've been a digital journalist. But the thing about this new media, the sort of YouTube world, is that it gives you the time to have the conversations you want to have and the space to have them without any corporate interference or influence. It's pretty great.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I love that, and I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be watching every show that you do. The perspective too is, I think you always present the sides of women, and I love that. Me too. And I love women. Empowering them, their voices. I mean, we're going to see more of that too, because that's what you're kind of known for.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the thing is, we are still underrepresented. Even in the year of our Lord, 2025, we are still underrepresented in media. Our voices are still less heard. I'm so glad that you're here doing this. We need more of us in these spaces. Our stories matter.
Well, we really fought to be here.
Yes.
I mean, between the two of us,
listen,
the war stories that we could, just to get on this couch.
That's another podcast. We'll have to do that one separately. That's when we have cocktails.
So let's talk about your show. So what can we expect? I mean, you could write a book on everything that you've been through and you know about network television, but specifically covering all these big stories. What can we hear in your new show? Like, what's going to make it different?
Well, the thing that people say to me when they come up to me in the airport or at the movie theater and in the store shopping is, we love that you explain it to us so we can get it.
Yes.
And I think the analysis is what I can bring to the table. Yeah. Everyone knows what the news is. People have got devices. People know what's happening. They've got their social media. They see the headlines, but they may not understand why it's happening. And so I feel the value add that I can bring to the table is not necessarily just the what, but the why.
I love that. And the guests are going to be incredible.
Yes.
Because you will have hip-hop artists right next to heads of state.
That's it, yeah. And we're talking to politicians, we're talking to entertainers. We opened with Amber Ruffin because you've got to laugh as well as be as well as learn, laugh and learn at the same time. We actually had Zohran Mamdani on before he won this historic election. Wow. And I got a little tea that he is a hip-hop artist, that he was a hip-hop artist, and he's promised to come back to the show and drop some bars. I'm waiting. Zohran, call me. We are waiting to hear those bars.
That is such a good tidbit. And so are you going to you're based in Washington? Or are you going to be kind of bi-coastal? What you going to do?
Well, we always have a foot in New York City because I am originally from Brooklyn, New York, even though, lived in Miami and lived in South Florida as well. But we are based in the DMV, in the DC area, which is where all the action is. This is where it's happening.
Yeah. And then how do we watch you? How do I watch this?
So we made it really simple. We call it the Joy Reid Show. So you go to thejoyreidshow.com. And remember to spell Reid, R-E-I-D, like Harry.
Okay, that's
my late play uncle.
And then quickly, your story is incredible. I mean, I could listen to you, and that's probably why you have a show now that we can watch on YouTube and on your website. You're from, where are you from? You're from here.
I was born in East Flatbush, Brooklyn, New York, St. Mary's Hospital. I don't even think the hospital's there anymore. But at 2 years old, my mom moved my sister and me to Denver, Colorado, where my brother was born. So we grew up in Denver, and that's where I went to high school.
And there's so much about you that is just so fascinating. And your rise in television and politics. And now you're one of the leading voices that we have to turn to. We have to turn to you for information, because there's so much information out there that's not accurate and that can be biased. And you come from a place of, I just want to inform people. I mean, honestly, talking to you, I learned so much. I want to Google afterwards. That's the kind of person that you are. I mean, you did go to Harvard.
Yes, I did. And that was an interesting experience too. And I think that part of the reason I'm a little bit different, you know, this is a business, and you know this probably better than everyone, that is a very New York and DC based business. A lot of the people grew up in New York and DC. They come from the Beltway. But you know, you and I come from outside of that. I grew up in the
Chicago.
West. Chicago. And so I think you do need a little bit of regional perspective sometimes. You need a little bit of gender diversity. You know, diversity, this is why I always will stand for diversity, equity, and inclusion, because it actually brings more to the entity that hires us, right? Because we bring a perspective that might not be there already. And for me, because I'm the child of immigrants, I understand the immigrant story, you know, innately, because this was my mom and my father's story. So I see it from a perspective that's also international. And we need to sometimes think about the international links to our domestic stories. How did the Iran conflict happen in the beginning? Not just why are we in conflict with them now? And I think having those perspectives matters, and I hope that's what I'm bringing to the table.
Oh, I could listen to you all day, and I will be listening. Again, how do we see you? How do we watch you?
So the YouTube channel is thejoyreidshow.com, and you can just subscribe. It is free, and you can subscribe and become a part of the TJRS family. And so hopefully people will subscribe and check it out. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We drop the show at 7 p.m., but we also have a lot of bonus content every single day.
And it lives forever, so we can always catch you whenever we want.
That's
on our
right.
time, on
you
our
can't
phone.
miss it.
Can't miss it. Thank you, Joy, for being here. You'll come back.
Absolutely.
Once you're on the show, you're family. So thanks for being here, Joy.
Thank you.
You bring us so much joy. Can I
Thank you so much.
I love you.
Oh, I love you back.
Next, Safe Passage Project is here, and they are protecting our children. Safe Passage Project saves lives. And Adonay Milla is here to say, well, he was helped big time because of Safe Passage. And Tania Cohen is here. I always joke that we need to have lawyers always around us, but you are an attorney with a huge heart, a team of lawyers you have. You're head of legal operations and government contracts at Safe Passage Project. Thank you both for being here, first of all. I'm so excited to see you. Tania, first off, you know, this is a long time coming for you to be on my show. You're going to be back a million times because what you do is so critical to our city. How did this all start? I mean, you provide free legal services to unaccompanied children, and we're talking hundreds of children.
Yes, we provide free legal representation because immigrant youth in deportation proceedings are not entitled to a court-appointed attorney. So that's where we come in and are able to have a success rate of 90% of getting permanent residency for our clients.
Did you say 90%?
I
That
did.
is incredible. What do you credit that kind of effectiveness? I mean, it's so effective. 90%? Do you think it's just because the heart is in there with the lawyers, their team? You have the best team, obviously, of so many different law firms that are involved in this one.
I mean, I think it's many things, but the forms of immigration relief that our clients are eligible for are really procedurally and legally complex. And so a competent immigration attorney is really essential, and that's where we come in. So the difference between having a competent attorney and facing it alone makes all the difference.
And you have the best attorneys, which
Yes.
is that I just love your organization because I've met so many of these law firms that, again, is it pro bono work? It's free?
Yes, we provide free legal representation.
That's incredible. And why did this organization begin? It really is one person making a huge difference.
Yeah, so we started back in Safe Passage. Safe Passage Project started back in 2006 with the original idea to pair children's cases with pro bono attorneys. Children were in immigration court alone facing a judge. Then in 2014, there was a huge influx of young people from Central America, tripling the number of young people coming to the US. And at that time, City Council appropriated funding for this. And that was when we were able to hire our first full-time staff member, and now we're a staff of 62.
Did you say 62?
62,
That's
yeah.
incredible. And I know that a lot of these attorneys, they're so passionate about it. They say it's really the highlight of their lives to do this kind of work because they know the impact that they're doing. And Adonay, I'm so glad you're here because when I met you, I was like, you have to be on our show. And now it's finally happening thanks to your team that allowed this to happen. You are personified in the flesh. how this organization saves lives. Tell me your story.
Thank you so much for having me. Well, Safe Passage saved my life. And when I say it, that means literally they saved my life. Before I met them, I didn't even know what to do with myself at that point because I had been through so much and I was desperate for help, and in a legal way and also emotionally. And the day of the court, I was alone. I didn't know what to do because I knew that they could send me back to Honduras.
And you were only 17, 17 years
17.
old with your two sisters, is that right?
Yes.
You came here and you were alone, just you and your two sisters.
Yes.
And no legal representation. And then there was this, you know, it's like an angel, the way you describe it. Tell me about that moment.
So I was waiting in the waiting room, and I remember Guillermo and another member of Safe Passage. They were talking to these kids, and I was like, oh my God, they're so lucky that they have a lawyer. And I wish I have a lawyer. And a few minutes later, Guillermo approached me. He's like, do you have a lawyer? And I was like, no, I don't. He was like, you have a lawyer now. And I was like so happy that moment. You know, it's forever in my mind. I would never forget that. He stepped in and he never left me alone since then.
And now you're thriving. You're this incredible New Yorker that's just doing great, right? You're doing great.
Yes, I'm doing amazing, but thanks to them, you know, I wouldn't be here today without them. And I don't want to imagine my future without Safe Passage.
Yeah, and Safe Passage saves lives. And for you, the attorney, must be so gratifying. How do people help? Because right now we know that the feds are cutting funding. So how can we help?
Yes, so New Yorkers can help in many ways. You can visit our website, safepassageproject.org, and make a donation, and that will help us continue to provide free lawyers to children facing deportation. And also make sure to follow us on social media at safepassageproject.org on all of our platforms.
I'm so grateful to have met both of you and met this organization that's doing incredible work. You'll be back, right? We're going to tell these stories one by one as you're saving lives. And of course, thank you for watching. You can catch me every night on Pix 11 News at 5:45 and 6:45. You know the time slot. Don't forget to watch our new podcast too. Every Friday it drops on YouTube, and our next Monica Makes It Happen TV show. It's all about dads making it happen. Don't you love that? We always say moms make it happen. It's the dads making it happen this month, 4:30 p.m. on June 30th. Mark your calendars. I know you're watching. Let's all keep making it happen together. See you next time.